Hello and welcome to Pro Wrestling Inside and Out. On this video, we're going to look at the career of Butch Reed. But at this point, he is not called Butch Reed. He's called Bruce Reed. And Jack, I think you're going to start us off.
Unable to continue playing football, but never one to shy away from a fight, professional wrestling was an appealing possibility for him. Butch has said his way into the sport of pro wrestling was through legendary wrestling promoter Bob Geigel. He apparently walked into Geigel's bar, was spotted by former NWA Central States heavyweight champion Ron Eccleston, who by then was nearing the end of his in-ring career, and was sent to train at Lord Littlebrook's gym. I went there twice a week for a year, said Reed, before I got sent to Canada to work for All Star Wrestling. Reed, wrestling under his real name of Bruce Reed, spent 4 months in Vancouver gaining knowledge from Gene Knitsky and Al Tomko, while simultaneously earning in-ring experience against the likes of Eric Embry and Bobby Jaggers. Here are just a few of those matches he had while wrestling for All Star Wrestling. On May the 9th, 1979, at Evergreen Hall in Chilliwack, British Columbia, Canada, Butch Reed versus Goldie Rogers. Then on the 23rd, Evergreen Hall in Chilliwack, British Columbia, Canada, Butch Reed defeated Eric Embry. And then on the 24th, Memorial Arena in Victoria, British Columbia, Butch Reed defeated the Korean Assassin. And then on August the 6th, Vancouver, British Columbia, Bobby Jaggers defeated Butch Reed. August 13th, 1979, Vancouver, British Columbia, Chris Colt defeated Bruce Reed. In the fall of 79, Reed returned to the Midwest, working for Central States Wrestling and NWA St. Louis. There's a match of him versus Tiny Anderson, and you'll have to look it up, Tiny Anderson versus Bruce Reed. And then on September the 9th, 1979, Memorial Hall in Kansas City, Kansas, George Wells and Bruce Reed defeated Steve Hall and Ron McFarland. In November, Bruce would make his way to wrestle for Nick Gulas. November the 14th, 1979, at the Fairgrounds Sports Arena in Nashville, Tennessee, George Wells and Bruce Reed defeated Steve Hall and Ron McFarland by disqualification. November the 17th of 79 at WDEF Channel 12 Studios in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Tojo Yamamoto and Bobby Fulton defeated Chief Thundercloud and Bruce Reed. And then November the 17th of 79 at the Memorial Auditorium in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Joey Rossi and Butch Reed versus Ron Garland and Tom Vito.
Well, by the way, when I was doing this, I put Butch Reed on there, but he was just Bruce Reed, by the way. He was not Butch Reed, yeah, but I typed it up wrong, so I'm sorry. All right, go ahead, Ron.
Tom Pritchard called him Bruce forever, by the way.
Yes, he did, but at this point, he is Bruce. And actually, I just typed it up wrong.
And actually came to Georgia. First time he came to Georgia, he was Bruce. Second time he came to Georgia, he was Butch.
Yes.
He was having an identity problem. Crisis there. But by December, Bruce would make his way to Tri-State Championship Wrestling while also wrestling for Central States Championship Wrestling. He heads to the Myriad Convention Center, Oklahoma City on January the 4th, 1980. Bruce Reed defeated Ron Bass. The Shrine Mosque in Springfield, Missouri on January the 9th, 1980. Bruce Reed versus the Cuban Assassin. The winner unknown. Myriad Convention Center in Oklahoma City. It's on January the 18th, 1980. Bruce Reed defeated Ron Starr. Tulsa, Oklahoma, January the 21st, 1980. Brian Blair, that's easy for me to say, and Bruce Reed defeated Don Bass and Ken Mid-South. Myriad Convention Center in Oklahoma City on January the 25th, 1980. Bruce Reed defeated Ron Starr by disqualification. He would soon start a feud with Steve Lawler and would have a Texas death match. Then he goes to February the 13th, 1980, Shrine Mosque in Springfield, Missouri. It's the Texas death match. Bruce Reed defeated Steve Lawler. Back in Tulsa, Oklahoma on February the 25th, 1980. Bruce Reed versus Skander Akbar. Then at Shrine Mosque in Springfield, Missouri on February the 27th, 1980. Ron Starr defeated Bruce Reed. Tulsa, Oklahoma on March the 10th, 1980. Tommy Gilbert and Bruce Reed defeated Steve Lawler and Skander Akbar by disqualification. Back in Tulsa, Oklahoma on March the 24th, 1980, Bruce Reed versus Mr. Togo. Reed and Jerry Roberts would beat Mike George and Bob Sweetan for the NWA Central States Tag Team titles in late 1980 and lost them to the Kelly Twins on January 1981. This is to be Butch's first major title in wrestling. Then he heads back to Kansas City on January the 8th of 1981. Jerry Roberts and Bruce Reed defeated Billy Starr and Ben DeLeon. I hope that's his name. Reed and Jerry Roberts beat Mike George and Bob Sweetan for the NWA Central States.
I think we already said that.
Did I did that? Okay.
Well, I think I put that twice. So.
Okay, well, we did it twice, and maybe they did it twice. You never know. It could be two different towns. Anyway, Memorial Hall in Fort Scott, Kansas on January the 10th, 1981. Did we skip to some years there too? Anyway, it's Art Cruz and Bruce Reed defeating Pat Kelly and Mike Kelly. Kiel Auditorium, St. Louis, Missouri on February the 20th, 1981. King Kong Brody and Bruce Reed defeated Baron Von Raschke and Johnny Valiant. Memorial Hall, Kansas City, Kansas, February 26, 1981. Pat O'Connor and Bruce Reed defeated Buzz Tyler and James J. Dillon, veterans. Memorial Auditorium, Des Moines, Iowa, on March the 4th, 1981. Bruce Reed and Terry Taylor defeated the Kellys, Pat and Mike. Memorial Hall, Kansas City, on March the 12th, 1981. Pat and Mike Kelly defeated Rufus R. Jones and Bruce Reed by disqualification. Memorial Hall, Fort Scott, Kansas, March the 5th, 14th, 1981. Bruce Reed and Bob Brown versus Buzz Tyler and James J. Dillon. Winner unknown. It was a no disqualification match. Kiel Auditorium, St. Louis, Missouri on March 20th, 1981. Bruce Reed defeated Ox Baker by disqualification. Memorial Hall, Kansas City, Kansas on April the 2nd, 1981. Bobby Jaggers versus Bruce Reed ended without a winner because of the double disqualification. He would then make his way to Georgia Championship Wrestling at TBS Studios in Atlanta, Georgia on May the 30th, 1981. Bruce Reed and Bobby Garrett defeated Terry Gordy and Buddy Roberts by disqualification. I'm telling you, that match set that place on fire. When we got to school on Monday, everybody was talking about Bruce Reed and their defeat or his performance against the Freebirds. Of course, they have that on YouTube. Bruce was tremendous in this match. He was over big time during this match. And then, being that it was his first time on Georgia Championship Wrestling, after the match, Gordon interviewed Reed, and Brody comes out and slaps Reed, which sets up for the lights out match at the Omni. A little too quick. I agree. It was too quick for that one. And so that comes up with the May 31st at the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia. In 1981, Bruce Reed defeated Bruiser Brody by disqualification. Not sure how you lose a lights out match by disqualification.
Well, Buck Robley was booking, so that could be.
All right, so it was a disqualification during a lights out match. It's kind of the WWE having a street fight and nobody's in street clothes. I can't get over that.
There you go.
Another one this past week. On the next video on Bruce Reed, Butch Reed, we will continue our look at Bruce Reed.
Hey, by the way, when I was typing this up, because I always called him Butch, I'm sorry, but I went back and forth.
Now, honestly, I think Bruce Reed sounds better than Butch. Is it just me? Maybe that's what I was used to. Maybe that was his first name, and that's what I was used to.
By the way, he was not Butch yet in any of these deals. We might have said Butch, but he's never Butch. and that's all my fault because I typed it all up wrong. I put Butch.
When he came back for the second time, he was against Buzz Sawyer. Tom Pritchard was doing the commentary, and he called him Bruce, and everybody else was calling him Butch. And he said, "Let me tell you something, Bruce. You did a fantastic job out there against Buzz Sawyer." That was when Butch shaved the basketball. The basketball for the hair match with Buzz Sawyer. It was great.
Bruce Reed did not stay long.
Yeah,
in Georgia.
Either time.
What a lost opportunity. He was so over in 1 week. 1 week he was over, but Freebirds were over, so it got him over the way that, and they put him over big time. Missed opportunity. Do y'all agree with that?
it was missed.
Yep.
He was so old.
And I just kind of wonder that time if he wasn't there to get him TBS exposure for where he was working at, because a lot of times they would do that.
I think maybe Buck Robley was booking in that territory first, Bob Geigel's territory. Maybe not, and he brought him with him. And maybe when Bruce Reed when he got fired, when Buck Robley got fired, maybe Bruce didn't like it and left. I don't know. Who knows? I think he might have went from there to Bill Watts' territory. I'm not sure. No, he wouldn't have went to territory. That was beforehand, wasn't it? So I don't know. I don't know what happened. We'll have to figure that out. Why they they got rid of him so quickly. If you enjoyed this video, give us the big thumbs up. Subscribe to the page if you haven't already, because we're going to do more of these videos on Butch Reed, or Bruce Reed.
Bruce Reed.
He's called now. Bruce. I don't know.
Could it be the difference between Bruce, what was his name, Banner, and David Banner?
Could be.
Is that the difference?
Could be. I don't know. I'll probably mess it up on the part two. So, yeah. And if you like this video, wait a minute. What was the next thing I got to say? I got messed up.
Notification bell.
Oh, go one step further. Hit that notification bell and share the video. We appreciate it, and we'll see you again on another video right here on Pro Wrestling Inside and Out.